Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist and an intuitive that connects with the angelic energy. This is your weekly reading. So this is where we break down what to expect, what's going on with the energy right now, what to expect out of the energy this week, and how we can make the most of it. So I'm going to be talking about the messages that I connected with about this energy, about what we need to know, and then we're going to pull some cards together and build upon the messages that we already have. I'm curious. I would love to hear from you guys in comments because I'm really curious as to how you guys are experiencing this energy. It's really interesting and it's really all over the place. I feel like it's like everywhere, right? But I think that everybody is kind of like feeling this buildup that's happening, right? We're feeling that everybody's sensing it. So I've gotten a lot of messages today, like what the heck is going on? And what is this that I'm feeling? And to me, it is like there's this build up that we are working toward. There really is like a powerful climax of the energy in some way, shape, or form, or in many ways that we're working toward this week. And so I feel like we intuitively are sensing that. We have an understanding of what's going on here with this, but I'm really curious how this is showing up for you guys, because I think that, like I said, it's gonna look all over the place, right? It might be like a lot of like really high highs, a lot of challenging lows, a lot of questioning ourselves, asking a lot of questions. I think there's a lot of spiritual questions this week, right? Like, what do I believe? We're really still in this energy of being stretched, of being pushed out of our comfort zones and being developed in a lot of ways. And I think that if we can allow ourselves to work with this energy, right? To let it stretch us, to let it grow us in so many ways, that is going to support the direction that this is heading. This is all so important for our best life path. And so we want to trust it. We want to build with it. We want to develop with it. And there is like this buildup of the energy. Can you guys feel that? It's just so big. And so it might be a buildup. I mean, it's a buildup in lots of different ways, right? It might be a buildup of emotion. It might be you're feeling a lot of your feels and there's this whole development of that happening. We might be feeling more angry. We might be feeling more depressed, more anxious, more excited. It can be so many different things. It might be a buildup in terms of, I don't know what I'm feeling, but I feel something is happening. I feel like something is developing. I feel like I'm right on the brink of something. So noticing what's been building up in our lives recently, day to day, just this week, however you're experiencing it, maybe these are things that have been building up for quite a long time. What are the lessons that we've been working on for quite a long time? And I feel like there's this huge opportunity for us to move into the next level of things if we are allowing ourselves to be shaped, if we are allowing ourselves to learn and develop and to recognize the lessons as they are showing up, right? If something keeps showing up for you and repeating again and again and again, that is a lesson for you. And I think that there's real value in this energy to go into what I call video game mode. And video game mode is shifting into treating it like a game. What is it that I need to do in order to level up? What are the strategies that I've tried that aren't working anymore or that haven't been successful? And how might I approach this differently in order to level up? In the same way that you would do with a video game, right? If you've tried something and you're just not getting to the next level, then you're going to try a different approach. And I think that we're really being called to try a different approach. And I think in a lot of situations, if we can try a different approach, if we can let ourselves be shifted, be moved, make changes, then we're going to see some pretty big stuff happening pretty quickly, right? Whether that's in the form of release, whether that's in the form of things developing, things happening, things manifesting. I think that there's a lot of Tower moments. I haven't pulled the cards yet. I really liked how last week I forgot to pull the cards in advance, and I liked pulling them during the live. So I think that I'm going to do it that way for as long as I feel like doing it that way. But we'll see if the Tower comes up. I wouldn't be surprised if it does, because I think there's a lot of Tower moments, right? I think there's a lot of explosions. I think there's a lot of implosions. I think there's a lot of change that's coming in, whether we're choosing it, whether it's being chosen for us. But I think that with every situation, we have to trust that this is for our highest and best good, and we have to let ourselves roll with it. We talked last week a lot about paradigm shifts, right? That we are shifting out of old ways of doing things, shifting out of old ways of thinking about things. And so you might find that old thoughts are coming back in to give you an opportunity to clear and release them for good, or even old circumstances are coming back in order to give you an opportunity to change that in some way, to move forward from that, to have closure for some things. There's so much that's happening. It's almost difficult to explain. There's also, we have this fiery energy. I was talking in one of my posts about how rebellious this energy feels right now. And I think that we still can take advantage of this energy if we're feeling that, right? This rebelliousness, this not being willing to live our lives according to how other people want us to live it. This setting of boundaries with people in terms of deciding that we're going to do it our way. And if they want to be a part of our lives, they're more than welcome to, right? But at the same time, we're no longer going to have our lives be dictated towards us. And I really feel this energy, or just like this need to rebel, to break out of these systems, these structures that don't fit anymore. You might find you're feeling really confined, you're feeling really constricted. Notice where you feel chained, notice where you feel constricted, and what do you need to do about it? What changes do you need to make to it? It's all supporting us in living our most authentic lives. This whole entire year is all about authenticity. I keep talking about that, right? But it's about uncovering these layers of understanding ourselves, of understanding what we want and where we want to be. And I think that the self that we're understanding now might be different than even the self that we were understanding a month ago, right? We've been doing so much work and so much understanding. And so we're changing with that rapidly, right? We're like clearing away the layer upon layer of bullshit. And it's allowing us to get closer and closer to who we actually are and what we truly want and what our energy really is and how we can live our most purposeful life. And so it's all being uncovered, and it's incredibly powerful. So when I was connecting with this energy, one thing that I was being shown was, can we be energetic ninjas right now? Okay, so basically it's like noticing the energy that's showing up for you, because to try to control this energy right now, we just need to work with it, right? You're not going to be successful in trying to control this energy. So can we just work with it? Can we kind of just move with it and let it move us? And can we look at it and say, okay, what's happening for me right now? And how do I use this energy to my benefit? How do I use this situation to my benefit? And that might not always be clear immediately right now, but can we try to like work with this energy and flow with it rather than against it, so that it's supporting us? All of this is happening for us. So we just want we want to allow ourselves to be moved with it and to work with the energy rather than against it. I think that that's really, really important. It's this whole process of understanding ourselves more deeply, and you might be surprised by the things that you're being pulled toward. I see Nuda is saying, yeah, he loves this energy, but he's a Leo rising. I love this energy too, right? I think that I'm not a Leo rising, right? But I love the the way that it just is encouraging us to be so much more bold and to challenge the ways that we've been stuck for so long, and to challenge what we once thought was us honoring our authenticity. And I think that we're asking a lot of questions right now, right? And we're really inspired right now. Notice the creativity that's coming through. Notice the ideas that are coming through, because they're really important. And what we tend to do when these things come through, especially if we're really stuck, if we're unwilling to move with the energy, is we're going to set those aside and we're going to ignore those, or, oh, well, that's a really dumb idea, or how would I ever do that, or how would I ever make that happen? And can we instead just be open and say, I see this and I have this idea coming through and I feel really excited about it. Notice where your excitement is leading you. I feel really excited about it. And so then this is where we hand that up to our higher power. Okay, this is a really cool idea. I like this idea that's coming through, but I don't know how to make it happen. And so that's where I'm asking you, God, to show me the way, to lead the way, to help me to understand the direction that I need to go in. There's also this energy of, because we're so different, right? I keep saying this, but we're just not the same people we were even a month ago. Definitely not the same people we were a year ago. And so I think that we're taking a look at the energetic contracts that we've allowed ourselves to get into, right? These energetic contracts, these energetic agreements, and it might be just an agreement to have a friendship with someone, or maybe it's bigger than that. Maybe it's a marriage, or a lot of this is within relationships, right? So we're taking a look at relationships, and where am I still wanting to honor these energetic agreements that I've made, and where do I really need to take a look at the fact that maybe a soul contract is coming to a close, right? Where the work that it has been, the work that we needed to do has been accomplished, and now it's time to let that come to a close. So I think that there's a lot of that as well, where we're taking a look at that, and where do I still want to be energetically in a contract, and where do I want to move away from that, right? Maybe it's an energetic contract with your job. Maybe at one time it really felt aligned for you, and now you're taking a look at that and you're saying, no, it's time for me to unhook myself from that. It's time for me to let that go. And I think that this energy is just like building up to a place where like we just can't ignore it anymore. We have to do something different, or the universe is going to do something different for us, or we have to make some changes, or we have to see things from a different perspective. We have to ask questions. Something, right? But there's something. It's building up to something really important. And I think a lot of that is happening here in this week. I also feel like there's such a build up into the full moon energy that we have at the end of August. So definitely we're moving into that as well. I also feel like, I know I'm talking a lot here, but there's so much that's happening. I don't even think I'm covering it all, but like there's so many destiny points this week. So what I mean by that is when we come here, we have intentions for certain things that we want to experience, certain people that we want to connect with, certain ways that we want to fulfill a purpose here in this world. So these things that just are our destiny, these things that we intended for ourselves before we came. And I think that there's a lot of destiny points this week, right? So if you've been feeling this calling for some things and it's like, well, why isn't that happening for me? You might find that there's a lot of progression here this week as we lean into our destiny. It's so important though that we're paying attention to that, right? If you're feeling led towards something, this is not the time to ignore it. If you're feeling like you need to make a change and that feels really intuitively led, soul led, it's important to not ignore it. This is a really important week for us to not ignore the callings of our soul. Let's take a look at what the cards have to say to build upon these messages. Right away, I'm splitting that deck and I'm seeing the Ace of Wands. That's all about going for it, right? Is there something that you're just like, I don't know why, but I just feel like I need to go for it? This is your message to go for it. I'll be really curious to see. And there's the Fool card right there with the deck split again. We just saw it again. Beginning of a new journey, right? I think there's a lot of endings happening right now. I think there's a lot of new beginnings happening right now. I think there's a lot of movement that's supporting us in both of those things. Allow it to happen. Now, we are preparing. I see Nuda talking about that we have Mercury retrograde next week. Yeah, like by the end of August, we will be 6 retrogrades deep. And I've been saying, like, we need to take action sooner. Right? This isn't the time to wait because we're going within more and more. So you're going to find yourself going from outward energy, outward action into more and more inward movement as we progress into this month. And I think that we're going to be spending a lot of time reflecting on things. So this week, if you're feeling called to take some actions, close some things out, move some things around, whatever that is, make some moves. This is the time, right? It might pull from this rebellious energy, pull from this bold Leo energy. I love the boldness of Leo energy, but don't get caught up in the drama of things, right? I think we can also take ourselves a little too seriously or take the circumstances, the things that are happening for us a bit too seriously. And I think that in this energy, and so if we cannot do that, I think that we can avoid the trap of that, right? Where it's just like next week you'll be looking at the same situation going, why did I get so upset about that? What was that about? Right? So check yourself, listen to what's going on, what you need to hear, what you need to know. But these cards, this is amazing. Listen, but don't get so caught up in the emotion that becomes a problem for you, because then you're going to go off course. Two more cards here. How are you guys doing? Let me know how you're doing. Beautiful. This is beautiful. Yeah. Hermit card in reverse. What did I just say? We're getting ready to go more into this hermit energy. And so right now, if there are things that you're feeling called to take care of them. I'm hearing like, say what you need to say. Whether that's to speak your truth, whether it's a conversation that you need to have. I think that this Venus retrograde that we're in right now really has us in the mix of some old stuff, and maybe there are some healing conversations that need to be had. Maybe there are some things that need to be said or some truths that need to be expressed. And I think that it's important for us to be communicating that, to be expressing that, and also to be looking at, as I'm preparing to go within, what do I need to take care of beforehand? Where am I feeling called to take action? Where are things shifting for me? And am I being inspired to take any actions right now? The next card that we have here is the Star. This is beautiful. This is healing. But to me, this is also about, there's this energy of just like explosion happening in so many ways, right? And I think about like stars exploding in that way, comets, just like the power of that. And can we let this energy ignite us? Can we let this energy heal us? Can we let it fulfill the things that we want? I think that part of what's happening is like there's this powerful climax that's building, and it's a climax that we don't even necessarily know that we needed, right? But after the fact, it's like, wow, like that was like really what I needed to have happen in order to move in the direction that I'm supposed to move in. to move in the direction of my destiny. And so just allowing what wants to happen to happen. And there's a healing in that. It's like we need to also keep moving in the direction of our light, right? It's easy to get caught up in all of the bullshit and all of the heaviness. There's a lot of heaviness. There really is. And it's easy to get caught up in that. But our job as beings of light, as light workers, as light bringers, as healers and helpers and earth angels and all the things, we need to be making sure that we're continuing to work on our own vibration so that we can hold as much light as possible. There's so much that's happening just with planetary ascension. And I talked a lot about that last week, so make sure you tune into that and check that out. I cover all of that in last week's video, but all of that is happening, but it's happening for us. And I think that's important that we keep that in mind as well. There's some kind of wish fulfillment that's happening for us. There's some kind of powerful development. And this is, I think too, like there's this energy of being seen as our most authentic selves. I've been sharing with you guys, like part of how I've been being stretched and pushed out of my comfort zone is just in getting comfortable in being seen. I've never been really comfortable with making videos and doing all these things, but like that's where I've been led. That's what I've been shown, and just kind of letting myself be seen and letting myself be seen in all of the weird, authentic ways that I feel called to. You know, like I just on my Instagram posted another of my tree charming videos. If you haven't seen those, definitely check out my Instagram. But I think that it's so cool to make that. I think it's so fun to make those videos where I'm asking the trees to show me that how magical they are, right? And that they hear me and that they connect with my energy. And so in every one of those videos, I've made, I think 3 of those so far, the tree moves in my direction, right? Simply because I ask it to. And if I really let myself think about that, like that's weird, right? But I'm a little bit weird, and that's okay. And I'm kind of just like willing to let that be shown. I'm more willing to let that be seen, and I'm trying to let different facets of myself be seen because I just want to show up as my most authentic self, whatever that looks like. And the people that want to connect with that or that do connect with that are going to connect with that, right? And that's going to help to lead me toward my tribe and lead my tribe toward me. And so I think that that's what we're all meant to be doing, is just like letting ourselves be seen as authentically as we possibly can. So important. Wheel of Fortune. This is the one that I laughed at when I was pulling cards, because like this is all about destiny. This is all about shifting and changing, and be prepared for things to shift and change in a direction that you were not expecting, right? We always have this vision for ourselves, and things don't always go according to plan. In fact, how often do things go according to plan? And I think that it's really beautiful to let ourselves be surprised in the best possible way. Because when we let ourselves be surprised, we get out of our own way, and God steps in and brings the magic, right? There's a lot of magic that's happening. I'm also feeling that with this star card, and there's a lot of support in helping to support us on our most destined path. We have to get out of the way and not fight against that, right? Not get too caught up in like that ego vision of what it is that we see for ourselves, or letting fear hold us back. I think for a lot of people, it's like that fear of truly being seen. It's okay to be seen. It's okay to be you. It's okay to let that shine through, because that is going to allow people to connect with us. The next card, the sun, right? The sun will come out. The sun is coming out. This is such a beautiful, happy, joyful energy. And it's like seeing things really clearly, maybe for the first time in a long time, right? Or feeling really connected to our joy for the first time in a long time. And I think there's a lot of room for this. But again, we have to step out of the way. We have to stop trying to control it. We have to stop trying to hide parts of ourselves or to make ourselves smaller or to not grow and learn. I feel like there's a lot of energy right now that's asking us to be stretched, to learn, to grow, to develop. So if there are like skills that you're feeling called to learn, if you're feeling like you need to do some kind of schooling, or you're just like wanting to build some things within yourself to make yourself even better, definitely follow through with that. I think that that's really important right now, because that is going to help us to shine really brightly. So there's happiness, there's joy, there's feeling like we're on the right path. There's a lot of really great things to look forward to here in this energy. 5 of Wands in reverse. Not getting caught up in the drama of it all, not getting caught up in, you know, like our ego likes to throw temper tantrums. At least mine does. I think a lot of people's do. And recognize where your ego is throwing a temper tantrum, where it's like saying like, this isn't how we wanted it to be, or this isn't what I expected it to be. And so we immediately write things off. But look at, I mean, there's 4 out of these 6 cards. We have major arcana cards, right? These are powerful, life-changing moments, experiences that we're having this week. And I think that we might look back on this and really see that how crucial, how critical the energy this week is. But if we're getting caught up in our own bullshit, other people's bullshit, drama, letting the emotion be in the driver's seat for us, then we're not gonna allow ourselves to create the kind of shifts that this energy wants to create within us. So stand up for what's important for you, right? There's like this rebellious energy, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be a back and forth. It can be, here's my truth and I'm going to honor it, period, the end. And we can say that with respect, we can say that with love, but at the end of the day, it's going to be so important for us to honor our authentic selves above everything. That's so important right now, because that's leading us toward Ace of Cups, fulfillment, feeling fulfilled, feeling supported. I think that we're going to feel ridiculously supported by God, by the universe this week in so many ways. But again, if we're wrapped up in the drama of it all and really focused on letting ourselves be in a victim-focused mentality, we're going to miss it, right? Look for the blessings, look for the gifts, because they might look different than you expected them to be, but that doesn't mean that they can't be fulfilling to you, because again, this is a gift. I feel like we had Ace of Cups last week, and I think that last week there was like so many cups, right? That's fulfillment. That's our hearts feeling good and supported and feeling like our cup is full. And again, it's like things that we didn't even know we needed are happening for us, are showing up for us. And so we just don't want to fight against it. We want to flow with it and see where it's taking us. So I hope all of that makes sense. I threw a lot at you guys today. Thank you so much. If you guys are here until the end, you guys are rock stars. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I appreciate it so much. Give me a shout out if you stay to the end. I always love to hear from you guys in comments. I appreciate your support. You guys have been so awesome and supportive. A lot of shifts happening within me, and I know you can see that here in this energy. I've gotten some messages from you guys. A lot of things happening, and it's really beautiful, and a lot of shifts happening within you guys as well, allowing us again to step into our destiny. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. I think sometimes people, I've noticed like some people have said to me, I didn't unsubscribe, but I found myself unsubscribed, right? And so make sure that you're subscribed still. That I think sometimes like people go and subscribe thinking that they weren't, and then they're actually unsubscribing themselves. So anyway, if you're not subscribed, make sure that you are. I share some different videos here on YouTube, and I really appreciate the support as well. It's helping to grow the channel. It's helping to get these messages where they need to be. Some people have said to me, like, I'm already planning on sharing this video. So if that's you, if you feel called to share this video, share it. somewhere with someone publicly, wherever you feel called, but this is helping to get these messages that I feel like are really important right now to the people who need to hear them. So I appreciate you guys. You guys are so amazing. I will see you soon with another video. Take care.